Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm back here again with another video. As you can see, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet finally is compatible with Pokemon Home. So many of you guys may be hyped for this, or maybe some of you guys might not know the implication of this. It is very exciting because we can finally add all the Paldean Pokemon into our collection in Pokemon Home. So in this video, I'll be doing an update video from the last video that I did last year on how to organize your Pokemon Home boxes, because I believe that having a clean, organized home box is very, very nice, especially if you want to flex to your friends and stuff that you actually have all the Pokemon. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and see what happens when we click in Pokemon Violet. Here we go, we're connected to the game. So the one thing that I can say already is that Pokemon Home is extremely slow. Just like in the old video, not too much has changed. The first box you should have is a hot box. That's what I like to call. This is a box where you can just move things in and out. The purpose of this is just having a little free box that you can move Pokemon around. You know, for example, like this Iron Valiant here. Let's say I just want to move it over, but I don't know where to put it exactly. So, you know, for now, like I can just move it here and then move it around later on. You know, I just want to have it in Pokemon Home. And then let's go ahead and go one to the left. Yeah, it's getting a little bit crowded since last time. The one thing I would recommend compared to the old video is I would suggest you guys have more boxes, more hot boxes. I would say probably 3 or 4 or 5. From the right side, we have our Living Dex. So you can go ahead and number it, you know, from 1 to 30. You know, it's 30 Pokemon per box. I know people like to put the forms, such as, for example, Raichu here. It has a Alolan form, and some people like to put it right next to it. Personally, I don't like that because I can't really organize them by numbers. I do have all the male forms in the Living Dex, and all the female forms, you guys will see it in a separate box. 1 through 30, then we have 31 through 60, 61 through 90, 91 through 120, 121 through 150, and then here we go, 151 through 180. This is the start of Gen 2. 181 through 210, 211 through 240, 241 through 270, and here we start Gen 3. And then we have 271 through 300, 301 through 330, 331 through 360, 361 through 390, and we also start Gen 4 here. And then 391 through 420, 421 through 450, 451 through 480, 481 through 510, and this is where Gen 5 starts. 511 to 540, 541 to 570, 571 through 600, 601 through 630, 631 through 660, and as you can see, we are starting Gen 6, and then 661 through 690, 691 through 720, 721 through 750. As you can see, we're starting Gen 7, 751 through 780, 781 through 810, and we are starting Gen 9 at the end. 811 through 840, 841 through 870, 871 through 900. You can see towards the end, we are starting the Hisuian part, and here 901 through 930. So this is where we left off last video. We ended at Enamoris. However, now we have the new updates. So as you can see, here you have all the nice Paldean Pokemon. You're gonna start with Sprigatito here, and I'm not gonna go one by one because it's gonna take way too long. But you know, you guys can kind of see here the names of the Pokemon. Again, here we have the Oinkloin. It does have a gender difference, but here we're only keeping the male because, like I said, we're putting all the males in the Living Dex. Here I have the Mousehold family of 4. And then we have 931 through 960. So here we have the Green Rockabilly. So you guys can pause the video, you know, if you guys want to organize exactly like I did. So here we have 961 through 990. Tatsugiri here, I have the orange form. Final page 991 through 1010. Here I have the chest form Gimmighoul here. It ends with Koraidon, Miraidon, and obviously Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. So there you go. So Iron Leaves is the final Pokemon for now. Again, we will have more Pokemon filling this in. And honestly, if you're starting this from scratch, I would probably recommend leave maybe like a couple of boxes after, because you guys will see once I go once right. Leave a couple of boxes empty from the right, because with the DLC, there might be way more Pokemon than just 9. Keep in mind so you don't have to move everything over afterwards. All right, but now let's go once to the right, and here we have the Alolan forms. So that's why I didn't put them next to it. I just think it's more smart to just group them all together. And then we have the Galarian forms here, and then we have the Hisuian forms here. And then we have the Paldean form. This is brand new. So here you're gonna have the Tauros, the 3 Tauros. So you have the regular one, the fire one, and the water one, and the Wooper. And then continuing right, we then have the other forms. So other forms, we have all the Pikachu caps. We have all the unknown letters, -1, because the other one is in the Living Dex. I think I put the question mark as mine. And then after that, you're gonna have the Deoxys attack form, the Deoxys defense form, the Deoxys speed form, you know, the Burmese, the Wormadams, the Shellos, the Rotoms. Some people might struggle to get the Shaman Sky form into this game. So the way to do it, or the way that I did it, is I used Pokemon Legends of Arceus to do it. You find the flower, you transform the Shaman into the Sky form, and then after that you can deposit it here. Because in other games, once you deposit it into the PC, it will turn back into a regular Shaman, and you don't want that. Then you have the Basculin. You also have the Basculin White Stripe. So this one is actually another form. It's not a Hisuian form, because when you read the Pokédex entry, it says White Stripe. It doesn't say Hisuian Basculin. So that's something I think I messed up like on the last video. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I corrected it here. This is where it's supposed to go. And then you have the Deerlings, the other 3 forms. You have the Sawsbuck, and then the Tornadus, Thunderous, and the Landoris T forms. Then you have the Keldeo, the other form of the Keldeo. Then you have all the Vivillons, which I should probably use the new feature in Scarlet and Violet to catch all of them to have my OT, because yeah, those are not all mine. Then you have the Flabébés and the Floettes. Again, pause the video if you need to have a closer look. Then you have all the Florigus. Then you have all the Furfrus. If you want to get all those, you need to play Pokemon Go and trade with people. Yeah, it's extremely complicated to get like all the Furfru form, like very, very complex. Then you have all the Pumpkaboo forms, the Gourgeist forms, the Zargar 10%. Then you have the Hoopa Unbound. Now, many people have been asking me, how did I get the Hoopa Unbound in here? You basically need to acquire a Hoopa in Gen 7. You want to change its form in Gen 7 into a Hoopa Unbound, and then by transferring it with the Pokemon Transporter, it will then go into Pokemon Home as the Unbound form. But that's like the only way really to do it. Anyways, then you have the Oricorio forms, you have the Lycanroc forms, you have the Minior forms, Magearna, once you complete the Pokédex in Pokemon Home. The other Toxtricity form, then you have the Sinistea and the Poltegeist forms, you know, the 1% form. And then you have all the Icreamy, yep, all the Icreamy. And then the other, more Alcremies. And then even more Alcremies. And then you have the Urshifu, that does the Rude. This is also one that I forgot to include in the last video. Therian form of Inomaris, I can never say that name. Let's get to the forms for the new Paldean Pokemon. So we have the Maushold with family of 3, that's where I put it. Then we have the blue Squawkabilly, the yellow Squawkabilly, the grayish white Squawkabilly. Then we have the 3-segment form, Dunsparce, and then we have the pinkish red Tatsugiri, the yellowish Tatsugiri, and then the roaming form Gimmighoul, which you can now transfer from Pokemon Go. Now let's get to the next box. Now we have the gender form. So again, you guys can just kind of look. I'm not gonna go individually like I did with the other forms. And one thing I will mention though from the last video is there is this Pokemon right here. It's the female Hisuian Sneasel. So this one, you want to make sure you include it here. I just put it in right next to the Sneasel. And then let's keep going. You guys can take a look. That's the last box. And on the last box, again, for my old video, you have the Basculegion female here. And then for the brand new and final form, you have the Onkoloin female form here. So that's pretty much the full Living Dex, you know, with the forms and genders and everything. But here's some extra stuff that you might be wanting to take into consideration, which is, first of all, here is the event Pokemon. Now, I'm blurring everything because this is for a future video that I'm working on. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see this type of content. I've been working like endlessly, like going through collecting data and like collecting those Pokemon as well, like all the event Pokemon. If you guys are into this type of videos, and you know, like again, make sure you at least give me a like. Make sure you stay tuned because yeah, this video is gonna be crazy. So I'm just gonna keep on skipping through. There's a bunch of boxes here. The next part is your sentimental Pokemon. I have a box. It's not named because it's temporary because I'm still moving other Pokemon around for my events video, but so I like to keep all my full odds shinies, you know, separate from all the boosted ones because those are special to me. And then one more for the right here, I have my Hall of Fame. This is all my Pokemon from my childhood, first starter ever when I was like 6 years old or something. All these Pokemon that I've really used throughout my life. You know, I like to keep them and retire them here. I'm also gonna move more Pokemon over once I get my older games back because I don't have them with me right now, but I'm gonna make sure I transfer more Pokemon and retire them all here. It's also nice to have because if you have the little Pokemon Home app, it's super cool if you favorite them. Super cool to know like, wow, like every time you launch the game, you can see like your starter, like your OG starter, just like on your phone. Like it's very, very wholesome, I think. So I think that's a pretty neat thing to do, is having like a little Hall of Fame for your, you know, your favorite Pokemon or like the Pokemon that really stuck around, you know, all those years with you. And then the latest box that I made is the 7-star bosses, the Mighty Mark Pokemon. Yeah, I just kind of grouped them up together. I guess you can also do that with Alpha Pokemon, you know, if you really collected those in Legends versions of Arceus. That's also an option. I'm just throwing out there, you know, things you can collect, you know, that are extra part of the fun. All right, now I'm back to the hot box. Now let's go ahead and go to the left a little bit more. Like I said, you probably want to have some spaces here and have some extra boxes here, like I said, in order to store like utility Pokemon that you're just going to be grabbing in and out, or also like boxes for your teams or PvP if you do indeed battle. I personally don't, that's why I don't have one. But you know, if you do so, I would say from the left side, go ahead and stack up your battle ready Pokemon teams. And then from there on, the full Living Dex, but this time in shiny, and it's reversed. As I don't have all the shinies and it's incomplete. It's kind of like the goal. If you're a hardcore collector or you just kind of like got all the shinies one way or another, this is the way you would go ahead and organize them, is just like the Living Dex, however, just reversed. Everything from the Living Dex all the way to the gender forms. And there you go, guys. So that was a full video on how you can organize and keep your Pokemon boxes clean in Pokemon Home after the Paldean update. It's kind of like an update video from the first video that I did. I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys did, make sure to drop a like. It would really help. And subscribe to the channel if you guys are into collecting Pokemon type of content or anything Pokemon. So yeah, with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. And as usual, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Stonks.